Good morning YouTube, Lofty's here. I've popped down to BMW Motorrad, Ocean Plymouth, down at Penryn. Dave's lent me this bike, what do you think? Brand new for this year, this is the latest and the greatest, the top of the range tourer, the BMW R1300RT LE. Beautiful bit of spec. Anyway, if you're interested in the R1300RT, you stick around. I'll see you in a minute. Okay then YouTube, here we are, Ocean BMW. What do you think of this? R1300 triple black LE with a clutch. How about that? 27 grand's worth hardly. Come on then, let's give it a ride. Okay, we're away. So the first thing I noticed, this has got the standard seat. It's probably just a little bit low for me. I'd want it on slightly higher. I've got the screen fully up. The mirrors aren't bad. This is Bish's bike. He's a tall chap himself. He's around the 6'1" mark, so it'll give you a good idea. He hasn't got the low seat, of course. So round the island, let's go all the way round. That's very, very, very nice. The throttle is superb. The other thing I noticed is this engine is probably a little bit quieter than the GS. That's probably because of all the extra paraphernalia that's strapped on it. Big screen and whatever. Anyway, we're in road mode. So the questions, has it got an ASA? No. This has got a clutch and a manual gearbox. Very nice. Has it got the up and down like on the GS? No. It's a different system. It's got a variation on that system. The difference is the suspension is actually linked to the mode. Here we go, the mode there, we're in road. So when you're in road, it's a fairly soft, level affair. And as you up it into sport and dynamic pro and whatever, the actual suspension changes the geometry. It drops the forks slightly and it raises the back end up a little bit. Unbelievable, isn't it? I tell you what, this technology that's coming through from cars is amazing. This is the all singing, all dancing one, the LE. So it's got everything on, top of the range, in a beautiful, lustrous black colour. The steering feels very neutral. It's a paralever terralever setup, just like most of the boxers, the GS style boxers, rather than having a conventional fork like on the RS and the R. It is very smooth. Anyway, we're going to take it up the Aggle and we're going to have a bit of a look. So we've got about a mile of Nadgery lanes. That's why I'm going to leave it in road mode. And then we can have a look. Thank you, sir. A lot of building going on in this part of Falmouth. Houses popping up everywhere. So here we are, we're in the National. Dave rode it to work this morning, so the heated grips are on and the heated seats on. I don't really think I need heated grips or heated seat at the moment, but he probably did at 8 o'clock this morning. So here we go. Just nicked it in there, into third with the quick shifter, into fourth. Yeah, that's smooth, that's nice. Let's try the blipper, back into third, down into second, yeah, that's lovely. So the flagship model, the 2025 BMW R1300RT. This is probably the sportiest, slenderest, sleekest looking RT they've ever made. It certainly doesn't feel like a barge. It feels nice, taut, The mirrors are good. Screen's huge, isn't it? Look at that. Let's just put it down for you. So if you was in the sunnier climate, you wanted a bit of air on you, just drop it down. Now I can feel the wind blast, but I can't feel it's not too bad. I'll try it out on a faster road in a while. I'm going to put it up because I like it up, and it goes really quiet. It's just like this quiet piece of air. They've put arrows on top of the wing mirrors, if you look. It's even got a sound system. Now then, sound system. I was just talking to somebody outside the shop. Do you know how much the sound system is? Right, copper, listen to this. 1,225 odd quid. And if you have the Marshall speakers, it's an extra 400 quid. So 1,625 quid for a radio with Marshall speakers. Yeah, brakes feel nice, steers in nice. I'm not used to riding with the BMW strain suspension, I'm going to call it, because both of my bikes have got telescopic forks, of course. And I had an RS before I had the R9T, and that had telescopic forks. So it just takes you a bit of a while to get used to that feeling from the front end. You just feel a little bit, if you like, dead when you first start. But as you get used to it, if you just trust in the tyres, it feels great. So let's just wind it up a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Here we go into the first good corner. Holds a nice line. Third gear. Yeah, that's lovely. I think the Road 6 is on it. Good tyres, good quality tyres. Yeah, the one good thing about the geometry on this bike is you can't tell it's the best part of 280 odd kilos. It does feel pretty damn light while you're riding. And if I was to have an extra inch of seat height, I think I'd find it very comfortable, because it's not that bad at all, to be fair. It's quite good on the knees. Anyway, here we are at the Havel. I'm going to pull it over and give you a good look round. Tell you a bit more about it. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look, shall we? So there you are. Big heavy bike. It's quite tall. Put the power on. What do you think? Looks good, doesn't it? As you know, I'm 6'5", 17.5 stone. Right, sink into it. It's nice and soft on the back while it's no engine. It's quite firm on the front. Let's just drop it on the side stand. So there we go. Loads of cutaway. I mean loads. My legs are about 34. If you was a 36, 38, you'd still get it on there. I'm not touching the rear pillion peg, but when the pillion's on, I'm not so sure. So, forwards, toes, not bad. It's okay. I love this screen. I can't get enough of this screen. Up it goes. Look at that. Down it goes. Electric screen. How good's that? Anyway, let's show you the bits and pieces up close. Just have a quick walk round. It's a good looking bike, isn't it? Looks great from the front. Day riding lights. Huge screen, yeah? This is all nice and compact. On all accounts, that's there, that bit of coal there, to keep your feet dry when you're going along. It stops the splash on your foot. Not sure that it stops the splash coming up the back, because you know what they're like, these boxers, they tend to protect the front and not the back. So, got the old Vario panniers. These are superb, aren't they? Detachable, they do come off. And they are central locking, and they've also got a USB and a little light in them. These are wound in. You can wind them out to make them quite big. I'll show you that in a moment. Anyway, the dashboard. Keyless ride, of course. So power button. Into life. Make life a ride. So the petrol tanks, everything, all keyless. The panniers, the top box, the lot. Fantastic. Have a look at this screen. That's what you call a screen. BMW make the screen, the best screen. Nobody else comes close, in my opinion. And this is massive, 10 1/4 odd inches. These are these aerofoils I was on about. Look at these. These deflect the air away. By the way, this device on the side, which is not on this bike, is the pillion pack. Now, there's a little lever there, and you just pull it, and this comes up, and it's to deflect air away from the pillion's legs. They've thought of everything, haven't they? So, the wing mirrors, below the bars, of course, very nice. Hydraulic front brake, new type of adjuster, little click. It's only just 3 switches, I think. 1, 3. There you go. Not bad. Power button, the mode button. This switches from road, rain, dynamic, sport, whatever you want. Start, stop, all in one button. SOS coming across, as you can see. No key, no push button, no nothing. This side, hydraulic, span adjustable clutch. We've got the adaptive cruise control on this, so it's a normal cruise, and you can also set it for the distance of the car in front. Lights, we've got the menu button, we've got the up and down. Now, using the donut lets you choose between the, let's just press it for you. You can have ACC, heating, windscreen, DC, DTC. So you can, I've got it set so it automatically works the screen, but you press it twice and it'll work whatever else you want. We've got the little whiz wheel, fantastic. That's putting the volume up, that is. How about that? Onboard computer. We got the lot. New for this time, we've got these bespoke buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can set those to use different operations. And we've got, how about this? It's much bigger than the old one. It's got a little USB-C if you need it, but if you've got the ability to just charge, it'll charge off the base. And there's the little spring clip that holds it. How good's that? So let's just fire it into life. Now, as you can hear, there's a good noise, but it's nothing like the GS. I'm going to prep the horn. Here's the horn. Now, that is a proper horn in it. I'm going to do it again. I think anybody who pulls out on you would know they've done it, wouldn't they? So, here we go. We've got the rock, the typical rock. Let's hear it from the back. Quite a big pipe on the back. Listen to this. Fantastic, isn't it? Okay, so we need the key. You put the key in, you turn it all the way to the left, and that will release the pannier. You leave it in the middle, and you press it down. This little lever comes up. There we go. As I say, it's not the biggest once it's closed in, but you've got this little dial here, so you just pull it out. All the way out. Now that's a usable pannier, isn't it? Let me just show you the difference. So the distance between there and the switch is about a finger. And now on the other side, we're going to vary out, it's 4 fingers. So you're getting a good 2.5 inches. Simple to close. Push the switch down, and it's done. And as I say, with the ignition on, it's central locking, so you don't have to worry about it. What do you think? I think it's gorgeous. It's the best looking RT I've seen. It's still heavy. It's still an heavy beast. And I should imagine once you're loaded with your panniers on, your top box, and the wife or the girlfriend on the back, or even the other way around, if the girlfriend was riding and you was on the back. Heavy bike, big bike. Okay, so the sun's coming out specially for us. What is it? 25/26 bike. BMW R1300RT LE. Triple black, this one. 1300cc air liquid cooled flat twin, boxer twin. They always call it a flat twin, we call it the boxer. 143 brake horsepower at 7,750 revs. 149 Newton meters at 6,500 revs. 6-speed shaft drive. Absolutely gorgeous. This is not the ASA, this is the one with the clutch. It comes in at 281 kilograms wet. Bit of a big old beast. It's more or less within 2 or 3 kilos, the same as the old bike. But they've reduced weight in places and they've obviously gained it somewhere else. The seats, you can go from a 780 to an 858. Now, for me, the 858 would be absolutely perfect. It holds 28.6 litres of fuel. Now, this thing about the fuel, I was talking to one of my mates yesterday, and his pals have toured with him with an ASA GS, and he was on his RS. And the ASA was getting much more mile to gallon. I mean, not just a bit. When they was filling up, there was like 4 to 5 litres difference at the end of the day. I think it's amazing. Obviously, when you've got the ASA, you ride it a little bit more frugal, obviously, so I don't know. So on the front, we've got the Evo telelever. The Evo stands for this dynamic suspension control. We've got a tyre, 120/70/17 Michelin Road 6 GTs. 2 big discs, 310mm discs, 4-piston radial BMW badged caliper. There's not a lot of room and there's not a lot of light, but on the back end, we've got Evo paralever with a 190/55/17 Michelin Pilot Road 6 GT. We've got a single 285mm disc with a 2-piston BMW branded floater. How good's that? Right, so the elephant in the room, the bike nobody buys, 19 grand. Right, that's the one nobody buys. BMW starting price for the RT, 19 grand. We have actually seen one spec'd up to £29,335. This is an expensive bike. This one's about 26, 27 grand, but you can spec it up to 29 grand. It's a lot of money in it. It's a lot of bike, but it's a lot of money. What do you think? If you had 29.5 grand, would you spec one up? Shall we give it a ride so as we all know a little bit more about it? I'm getting a bit excited. I've only done a couple of 3 or 4 miles so far. So we'll take it with a blast round. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, YouTube, so put my visor down. Here we go. Let's have the screen up, shall we? We're in 4th gear, it's quite tractable. There we go, 30 mile an hour, cruise on. We're on adaptive cruise at the moment. Can you see the sign in the middle? It's set at 2 bars, so that's quite close. Wonderful cruise controls on these BMWs. They go down as low as 20 mile an hour, which I think is fantastic. Everywhere you go nowadays, there's a 20 mile an hour zone. This is a tricky junction though, this is. I'm taking a right and then a sharp left. There we go. We're still in the 20. Anyway, we'll just nibble down through maybe Burnt House and get on the main road. Okay, we're away. As I say, it's an heavy bike at 280. By the time you've got it all on and everything, it's going to be a bit of a monster, isn't it? It's not until you come to slow down or do slow manoeuvres that you really notice the weight. What I will say is it's got a fantastic lock. You can turn the wheels, unbelievable. It just goes all the way around, and it'll turn on a sixpence. If you've got the bottle to do a U-turn on it, it'll do a proper U-turn. We're all clear. Indicator feels nice. I'm using the clutch, to be fair. At these low speeds, it just seems more natural, and it's a light clutch. I've got to admit, it's a very light clutch, 2-finger jobby. Just feels more natural. I think probably a bit more sympathetic on the box. But they've got these boxes on these modern Beamers, superb now. They're not like the old tractors, the old 1050s and 1100s. These are slick. To be honest, when you're doing like 45, 50 mile an hour like this, it just belies its weight. As I say, I think you'd have to be careful on an off-camber in the mountains trying to park it on a car park on a slope. I think it might be best to just let the pillion jump off and maybe just stand at the side and help you in case you start to topple. But like this, it's superb. So we're just dawdling through Pownawurdle. Now, I've just stuck it in Dynamic Pro. I've dropped the screen, I've lifted my visor up, and I'm getting a good airflow. This would be very beneficial when you're in Spain, just to get that bit of airflow around you. So, as we speed up, I'll just bring the screen up. There we go, that's just reduced the airflow. It's probably reduced it by 85%. Actually, it feels quite comfortable. As I say, when I first got on, I thought the pegs was a bit high, but you could soon drop the pegs anyway. You get some SW Motec pegs, that'll drop it 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Yeah, slightly higher seats and bingo. Yeah, I think this bike will fit most people. As I say, with a 790 up to an 850 odd, that will really cover the lot. As you know, I don't really like the 1300 GS. I find it a bit small and cramped. I found the GSA to be, oh, fantastic, so comfortable. But I've got to say, the ergos on this are good. The handlebars are lovely. I don't think it needs any risers or anything. Really is comfortable. So we're just going to enter a dual carriageway, so we'll see what it's like when we give it a bit of stick. We're all clear. I'm just going to nibble round in the overtaking lane. Second gear, clear. So here we go. Straight up to 50. There we go, 50. So we're in fourth. I'm going to do a fourth gear roll on up a steep hill. So here we go. Into the National 70. Oh yeah. Oh, that's easy. Loads and loads of grunt, loads of power. Yeah, 2 up. Absolute doddle. Yeah, nice. We're going to drop into a 30 for the island, and we're going to go all the way round and come back down. I'll just knock the cruise off. 5th, 4th. Here we go. 3rd gear, 30 mile an hour coming up. That's nice. I'm going to just drop it into 2nd. Round the big island we go. That feels lovely. Yeah. Got a peddler on the island, not to worry. So here we go, 2nd gear. Straight up to 70. How good's that? Yeah, this is a nice bike. Okay, it's expensive, but it's got everything you could want in a motorbike. And one thing that you don't want: weight. You know, I'm starting to feel things like weight a lot more as I get older. 10 years ago, I didn't give a monkeys whether a bike was 300 kilos, 350 or 250, it didn't bother me. But to be honest now, I start to feel it. You do lose a bit of your strength as you get older. And I think if the roads this bike will probably ride is going to be fast A roads, motorways, fast mountain passes, whatever, I think it will be fantastic. I do think on the nadgery dodgery stuff, you'd probably have to be a little bit mindful. Here we go, down the bottom island. I'm going to take it down the lane in a sec. Nobody's pulling out, but okay. Indicator falls really nice. Yeah, that's lovely. That is so smooth. Yeah, you're never going to get a quick shifter on a Boxer with a shaft drive to be as slick as, say, an XR or an S1000. But it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. Here we go, we're going to take a left here. One thing I like about the under handlebar mirrors is you can just have a bit of a peep in the mirror and you can see the pannier. You know, when you're manoeuvring like things like petrol stations and round stationary vehicles, it's just handy just to see what you're doing. As I say, they've got these Vario panniers on, so when it's wound in, it's not really any wider than the Boxer itself or the handlebars. Where you'll notice the difference is when you've got them wound out. Like I say, it's probably going to make the bike feel a good 5 inches wider. So here we go. We're in Dynamic Pro. We've got loads to go. 2nd gear up a very steep hill. Fantastic brakes. Give it another go. Yeah, that's lovely. Caught up a very flashy old BM. Have a look at that. 640D. Doesn't that look nice? So I'm just going to get across the lane and I'll do a bit of a brake test when it's a bit quieter. Can I get past you? Clear. Here we go. Yeah, once you start riding it, the handling's, it is really slick. Okay, so we're going to get it up to about 40. There we are, 40 mile an hour. Nothing about, clear behind, rear brake. It's not bad. You know, it's a big bike, so it needs a big back brake, and it's good. It's okay, that is. I like it. So here we go again, 40 mile an hour, front brake. Superb. Got a bit of a skip at the back, but as I say, I'm in Dynamic Pro, so the rear end's a bit lighter because it's raised slightly. So there we are. I'll just get this card out of the way. We're clear behind. So 40 mile an hour emergency stop. Yeah, the back end does feel quite light. And the front's very strong. The brakes are very strong on the front. So this is Dynamic Pro. I'm going to drop it back in the road just to see the difference in the suspension. Give it a chance to settle itself down. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit softer. It does make a difference. So here we are. We're at a national, up to 60, Doddle. So, hill hold. How about that? Just give the lever a bit of a squeeze. Not bad at all. Increase the revs to lights. How about that? That's one thing that really has improved over the years, the hill hold. It's a fantastic fixture. I think every bike should have it, especially when you've got a big heavy bike two up. It is really helpful to stick the hill hold on and relax. It only works when the engine's running, of course. Okay, so we're in a national. I want to test this quick shifter out up the hill. Okay, bit of an overtake. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. Sweet as, that's what I'm going to say. Over there, two bikes and they're both nodded. That's unusual. People seem to have stopped nodding, I don't know why. So on this sort of road, fast A road, oh, monstrous, comfortable, effortless. As we approach the island, I'm going to take this opportunity to say, if you've enjoyed this lofty video, click on that like, subscribe, ring that little bell. I'm only too pleased to answer any of your questions. You know that. A lot of traffic about today. Busy, busy, busy. Get a bit of an overtaking. Yes, I know the 1250 has got more than enough grunt, but this just does make it feel that much easier, simpler. Should we sound the horn? Here you go. I love that horn. That's probably as good an horn as you'll ever have on a motorbike. Anyway, look at this for the view. Going down the hill towards Penryn. I'm going to wrap it up now anyway. As you can gather, it's a lovely bike and I really do like it. I'd like to thank Ocean BMW, Penryn, Falmouth, for lending it me and letting me take out a 28 grand bike, because I've absolutely had a ball. Don't get me wrong, I'm not averse to spending big amounts of money, and if I'd got 28 grand, I can't think of a better way to spend it. I'd rather have this than any Ducati. I'd rather have this than any Triumph. I've got to say, it's probably the best big all-rounder available. It's good, but it's a lot of money. Okay then, viewers, so we're nearly back at Penryn. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm going to tell you about now. Not only has it got a heated seat and heated grips at the front, this bike has got a heated pillion seat with a heated grip in the handholds. Amazing. Even the cushion on the top box can be heated. So if you are going to ride it two up and it gets a bit chilly one morning, you can put all the heatedness on you want, front and back. The pillions will love you forever. Anyway, here we go, back into Penryn. This is the Lofty Biker saying ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.